A new way to do champion training, and it actually requires no energy. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here, and we are talking about champion training today, but this is going to blow your mind, okay? I'm going to go over real quick the normal ways we do champion training, and then we're going to talk about this new way, and hopefully this is going to be a very eye-opening experience, especially helpful for the free-to-play players, but also very helpful if you don't want to do the traditional ways. So, let's first look at the champion training tournament that we have available to us. So, the champ training for the Fusion just popped today, and we have to get up to 4,700 points to get both sets of fragments. Definitely think that you should do that. Probably you should just max it out, but at least get to the Ancient Shard. And then if you're in the lower bracket, like the free-to-play, I think both of them cap out at 3,800 instead. Like if you bump this one down to 38 and then bump this one down to 1950, I think that's what it is, or something very close to that. It's definitely not as high of a point threshold, okay? So we're gonna work hard on the free-to-play to make sure that we get this. Obviously, on the main account here, we already got people going hard, but champion training is something that happens very often, and we want more than one way to do it, okay? So let's go over the normal ways to do it, and then I will share the breakdown of the new way. The most common way to do champion training is to come over to 12-3 Brutal, have your one champion that beats it in as fast of a time as possible, and run 3 food champions. If you are mid-game or end-game, you should be doing this in less than 10 seconds per run, and if you're early game, your goal should be between 20 and 30 seconds per run. Okay, I do 7 or 8 seconds. Technically, it's possible to do 6 seconds, I think. But either way, this is where the majority of people will spend their time leveling up food. Another possible way is to level your food up in dungeons. I have a Theodore built who can solo Dragon 25. You might have a Tomb Lord, or there's like a bunch of champions that can do it at this point, or maybe you're doing 2 or 3 champions and then 2 food. But doing dungeons with food is definitely a viable way to do champ training. I don't actually recommend running epics in with your food in dungeons like this. They get too much HP, their abilities proc. On wave 1, Umbral was unkillable, so it ends up slowing your times down. So I definitely recommend uncommons, rares, commons, okay? Try to avoid the epics in there if you don't want to slow your run down. But at the same time, you can still run food successfully if you have those teams available to you, okay? So then what is the third way? So then the third way is going to be obviously just using your brews, okay? And these are very commonly known strategies, and maybe, I don't know, you didn't know all 3, but that's the way the majority of people do their champion training, right? They level up their food in 12-3 Brutal, or they level up their food in their dungeon while they're doing dungeon runs. Does take a considerable amount more energy to do dungeons instead of campaign, so I usually do campaign, maybe a little bit of dungeons here and there just to top off the points. And then the other option is using brews, which is very common. Now, for me, on my main account here, this is like the highest amount of brews that I've been at for the most part. I don't know why, I just burn through them for content probably, but you can come in here and you can do brews to level up your champions like this, and then you're done, just level them up like that, okay? But today, I want to go over a different strategy with you that you can use in champion training that I don't think people pay attention to, okay? One of the things that I always recommend people to do is when they come in and log into the game, come into the market and buy mystery shards. And if you are mid or end game, you're going to have some thousands of mystery shards up here. Okay? And typically they just sit there and do nothing. So I'm going to break down for you how you can turn your mystery shards into champ training. Okay? Now, this will be a little bit time consuming, the same way that brews would be, maybe a little more so, but this is a free way to do so that requires no energy, okay? So, here's the breakdown. We're going to use my my ugly little friend here, Frostskin, in our example, all right? So, if we put one brew on him, we can see that that's 18,750 XP for that one brew. If I put 6 commons in here, then that is basically half. Okay, basically half. So that means for every 6 commons that you have, you're going to have half a brew. Or for every 12 commons you have, you're going to have 1 brew. Okay, so that means if you pull a bunch of mystery shards and feed all of the champions, it will be the same as using a bunch of brews. Now, this is going to take some silver, but not as much as you would think, right? Like, this is going to be 5,400 for 6. And this is 7,000, okay? So, it's actually going to be a little bit more expensive on the silver, but it's still not that much, especially if you have millions of silver, sitting on your account. Now, if you don't have millions of silver sitting on your account, you should definitely just go run 12-3 Brutal and rack up the silver to help out progressing your account with that silver, okay? Now, so we have 6 commons equals half a brew, 12 commons equals 1 brew. What about the uncommons, okay? 6 uncommons is a little bit more than 1 brew. You can't do 5 is equal to 1, so you have to do 6. But you're getting more than 1 brew for every 6 uncommons. Okay? So let's put that together into something reasonable. Alright? What if you come in here and you pull 100 mystery shards? Well, then on average, you're going to be getting 10 to 11 brews for every 100 mystery shards. Okay? So that means if you pull 1,000 mystery shards, you can level up a champion from 0 to 60. You can max out a champion for 1,000 mystery shards. Okay? And I think that that's pretty incredible. Or what's more than likely to happen, like what you do with the brews, is you're going to put, you're going to come in here and find your 4s. And that's usually who I level up. I'm going to find a 4, and then I'm going to put in the amount to get them up to about half. Okay, so like level 20, 23, something like that, 17. So 5 brews here, so that would be 120 commons, or basically you would need, 100 mystery shards. Okay, 100 mystery shards would be less than that, actually. 50 mystery shards would be closer approximation to what you would need. Now, I can't say specifically because you don't know how many commons and uncommons you're going to get from the mystery shards, okay? But that's why we're saying approximately. All right, so then another thing that you want to keep in mind, some people also do feed rares, and rares are going to be 3 rares for 1 brew. A little bit more than 1. Okay, same thing like our uncommons, about the same amount. 3 rares is about 1 brew. Okay, so if you're needing space for your inventory, you can calculate how many brews and kind of lay it out as you're going so that you can do your champion training. Okay, now one last thing that I want to mention here is that for me on my account, the number one way that I get points in champion training is I put levels into my 4 and 5-star champions before I sacrifice them. Okay, so if we come over on my account here, do I have any already set up? I think so. I think so. Yes, okay, you can see the Guardians over here. They're all at level 24, okay? You can see these epics down here at level 22. Okay, we got extra cold hearts at 22. We have these ones that I started that are level 10. And then down here, the uncommons are at level 17. And if you are using RSL Helper, there is an option in there to do a champion level limit, and it will automatically level up all of your champions to these levels, preferably 4 stars and 5 stars. You can also do your 3 stars. I have found that on my main account, I don't have enough resources to commit to that. But I think on the free to play, I will consider putting some amount of energy, brews, mystery shards into each rare the same way that I do for each 4-star. Okay, so what do you think about this new way to do champion training with commons and uncommons that equal brews? Have you done that before on your account? Let me know in the comments below, and if you liked the video, tell me by hitting the like button. Thank you to all of you who made it all the way to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel. Still a lot of you guys are not subscribed. And let's check our mystery shard market. We do have 2 more mystery shards. All right, there's a third one. There's a third one. And I will see you guys in the next video.